Hey everyone, I am Ashley Kehr, co-host of the Real Estate Rookie podcast. We are celebrating that we have reached over 100 episodes for the podcast that have been released. So I took a look back at all of those episodes and I found 5 things that me, Tony, and our guests are constantly harping on. Before we get into those 5 things, I want you guys to make sure you are subscribed to the channel, hit like, and leave a comment below with what other videos you guys want to see on the channel. What are 5 things that I like to harp on that are real estate investing advice? The first one is to have cash reserves. It is perfectly acceptable and possible to invest in real estate without using any of your own money and any of your own cash. But that does not mean that you shouldn't have cash reserves in place. They could be cash that you have set aside, or it could be cash that a partner has set aside. Make sure you have those cash reserves. Cash reserves are so important that you should have a minimum of 3 months to 6 months cash reserves. There's plenty of people that have up to 12 months of cash reserves. My recommendation is to make sure that you can cover 3 to 6 months of your mortgage payment, your insurance, and your property taxes. So if you have a mortgage with escrow, that would be your full monthly payment have saved up. When owning a rental property, there will be times where you may have to do large maintenance expenses or large capital improvements. Having those cash reserves can save you from headaches. A lot of times, money fixes a problem. So make sure you have those cash reserves in place and be prepared to use them. Don't think of that as money that you're saving or that's your life savings. Think of that as money that is set aside to be spent in case of an emergency or in case something happens where you need to use those funds. Number 2, to secure long-term financing on your properties eventually. So if you're purchasing properties using a hard money lender or a private lender, and maybe you have to pay that back in a short period of time, such as 6 months or a year, or even 5 years, you have to pay that money back. Make sure that you have a plan in place to put long-term financing on the property. So by long-term financing, that could mean that the property is amortized over 25 years. You have a 30-year fixed rate mortgage on the property. Look into those financing options because you don't want to be put into a place where all of a sudden on 3 or 4 of your properties, you have balloon payments due and need to pay those, and you're scrambling and trying to get that, and then maybe something like COVID happens again and banks kind of put a stall on what they're doing and it becomes harder to get a mortgage on the property. So secure yourself with long-term financing, or if you're holding your properties in cash, keep them free and clear. That's also very awesome. Number 3, practice analyzing deals. Every single day as a rookie investor, you should be doing this. Go to biggerpockets.com, use the calculator reports. It tells you exactly what income and what expenses to put in for the property. Did you guys know we also have a rent estimator tool? So you just put in the property address of the deal you're analyzing and it will tell you what the market rents are in that area. And you can use that as your rental income number. And then your expenses, it tells you where to look for expenses and what you need to account for when analyzing the deal. Practice using these calculators and practice finding the information that you need. Each time you analyze a deal, you're going to get stronger and better and also more confident and comfortable in analyzing your numbers, which will make you want to put in those offers because you know what you're doing and you feel comfortable and confident in yourself. Number 4, reviewing your lease agreements at renewal and updating. Things may change over the course of a year. If you have a 1-year lease agreement with your residents, every time you do a lease renewal or you bring in a new tenant, you should be reviewing your lease agreements and updating them. For example, if landlord laws have changed in your city or your state, you should be making sure your lease agreements are following what the changes in the laws are. Also, if there is a change to the utilities, or there might be, you add a shed for them to rent out, different things like this, or you want to change the pet fee, or you want to change the rules for the pets, make sure you're taking a look at your lease and renewing and updating them. There's also a ton of free resources out there to get sample leases, and maybe there's things you didn't even think of that you want to put into your lease. Let's go over an example. One example that everybody uses as to why they don't want to be a landlord is because they don't want that 2 a.m. phone call that the toilet is plugged and they have to go and unplug the toilet. So what I have seen done pretty common now is that some landlords will actually put into their lease that if the toilet is plugged, that the tenants are responsible for clearing the clog since they are the ones that plugged it. So if you're interested in kind of looking at different ways to mitigate the 3 a.m. calls, put those into your lease. There's also call centers now where you can hire a call center to take the calls for you, and then they pass on your maintenance. So just make sure you're reviewing these lease agreements and seeing if there's anything you need to do each year to update them and make it better for your tenants and make it better for yourself too. Check out biggerpockets.com. If you are a pro member, you get access to the free lease agreements, and they have one for every single state in the US, and these were all prepared by attorneys in each state, and you guys, if you're a pro member, you have free access to them. Okay, now the last one, 5, get your mindset right. There's so many obstacles and so many things that can stop you from being a real estate investor or can bring you down on your journey. A lot of people think that, your real estate investing is you're on a cliff and you're just jumping off of it and you don't know where you're gonna land. But really, it's more like you're hiking and it's a windy trail and you're gonna have your ups and downs. So you have to have a good mindset. Follow people on Instagram that talk about mindset for real estate investors. One example is Steve Rosenberg. You can follow him where he talks about getting over those mental hurdles and becoming the best person that you can be and a really successful investor. If you are not finding the time to get into real estate investing, start tracking your time. Take time for yourself. Check out the book Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. Great book if you want to really take advantage of your mornings and get your mind right and get your day started. Let me know in the comments below what real estate advice you guys harp on when you're talking to your fellow colleagues. Thank you guys for watching today. You can find me on Instagram at Wealth from Rentals if you want to connect with me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.